Hey GAWDA members, what's going on? We hope everyone got home safe and sound after another amazing GAWDA convention in Colorado Springs last week. It was so great to see everybody in person again. In our next episode of GAWDA TV, we'll have a full convention recap, including pictures and interviews from the show floor. And also, stay tuned for the Convention Daily Recap Connection that will be hitting your inbox next week, and we'll have photo galleries and quotes from the show. In today's show, we had the opportunity to speak with two of GAWDA's executive committee members about their new roles on the GAWDA board. Joining us first today is GAWDA's 2021-2022 president, Bob Ewing. Bob, thank you for taking the time to be with us again today.
Thanks for having me.
Bob, you officially took the office of president during this year's convention. What are you most excited about as you prepare to take on this new role?
I'm most excited just about the opportunity to give a little bit back, to an industry that has been very good to me. I haven't known anything other than the gas and welding industry since I left the military back in 1995. It's the only thing I know. And, it's given me a place to grow. It's given me the ability to provide for my family. It's given me meaningful, interesting work. And I guess more than anything, it's given me great mentors and people to look up to and try to be like. A lot of those folks are in this industry. They're hardworking. They're not entitled. They're entrepreneurial. They're doers. They're professionals who care about doing things the right way for the right reasons. And I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to see more of those folks and also to give a little bit back to them. Really an awesome opportunity to work with some great volunteers in our industry. Everybody I've worked with that is willing to contribute time and energy and ideas to the association, those folks are inspiring. And you meet them on the executive committee, you meet them on the board, you meet them at the committees, you meet them at GAWDA headquarters. They're just really great folks trying to make our industry stronger. So I'm really looking forward to working with them more closely and learning from them and growing with them. So lots to look forward to, Steve.
Have you received any advice about the position from previous GAWDA presidents?
Probably the most common comment I get is good luck following Abity. I can understand that sentiment. Really learned a lot from her and all of the past presidents. I'm really standing on their shoulders. They've built an amazing industry. And it's exciting to be able to follow in their footsteps. The best advice I think is just be yourself. Everybody brings a different personality and different talents and ideas to a role like this, and all I can do is give myself. So I think that's good advice. And also have some fun along the way. It goes fast. That's what most of them tell me. You'll blink and it'll be over. So try to enjoy yourself and enjoy the journey and soak it in.
So following this year's theme, which was Eyes Up, do you have a theme or a goal for your year as GAWDA president?
Yeah, I think the tagline of my year is going to be leaders mentoring leaders. Now, mentoring is nothing more than helping other folks along the way. And one of the things that our association does really well is bring leaders together so that they can have a positive influence on one another. They can share best practices. They can encourage each other and just help each other along. I think that really is something our association does well, and that we need to find more ways, intentional ways of deepening that impact. We've got an incredibly deep bench in our industry, much deeper than just the executives and owners that show up a lot of our meetings. There are managers in our respective businesses that are doing an incredible job, have a lot of passion, and need to be spotlighted more. And we need to find ways of involving them, even if they can't make it to one of our national or regional meetings. One of the cool things that's happened over the past couple of years, it was really reacting to some adverse circumstances, but we learned that we could reach people other than seeing them face to face. And I think there's a great opportunity there for us to reach deeper down into our member companies and involve a lot of those junior leaders, because they're going to be the senior leaders and the drivers in our industry in the future. And so I think mentorship is something that I'd like us to see to continue to take very, very seriously. I think everyone in our industry can benefit by getting plugged into the work that our association does. There's tons of good information, sharing that goes on, lots of good advice, formal and informal. There's not a single problem that anybody in our industry is facing that some other member has not at least tried to solve. And we can learn from their experience, whether it worked or it didn't work. So I think mentorship is a real big theme and one of the big goals, and increasing the level of engagement, extending our reach deeper into our member companies.
Are there any last messages that you want to leave viewers with before we go today?
Thank you for what you're doing, to make your company stronger. And I know that you're making your community stronger. And I know that our industry is getting stronger because of what you're doing. Nothing in this economy works without us. I mean, we touch everything. The lights don't come on because power plants don't run. Patients don't get served in hospitals. Things don't get built in factories without the work that you do. So, yeah, I would say, first of all, thank you. And remember that you're touching a lot of people, and this is a worthy calling, and it's worth doing well. But don't be a lone ranger. None of the issues that we have are unique, and we can all learn from each other, and we should be leveraging our association to get better at what we do. GAWDA's mission is to increase the vitality of our industry, and I think we do that best when we help, especially small and independent companies, both vendors and distributors, get stronger. Those independent companies are agile, they're flexible, they're responsive, they're personal and close to the customer. They're what makes our supply chain work. Nothing works as well without those small independent companies doing what they do. And I think if we're going to stay independent and we're going to have more of those kinds of players, we got to help each other out. And that's what our association is about. So thanks for doing what you do. Keep doing it. Get plugged in, get involved with the association. And please let me know if there's anything the association can do better to serve you, because that's what we're all about.
Bob, thank you again for being with us today, and congratulations on becoming president. We're really looking forward to working with you this year.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate all the work that you do, Steve.
Stay tuned for a word from this year's Mr. X, as well as a tribute to an industry legend, and more information about one of GAWDA's committees right after a message from today's sponsor, SafTCart. Joining us next today is the newest member of GAWDA's Executive Committee. Please welcome to the show, Mr. X, Eric Wood. Eric, thank you for being with us today. Eric, at this year's convention, you were named to GAWDA's Executive Committee in line to become the president of the association. Can you discuss why you wanted to be part of the EC and how you felt when that was announced?
So I've really enjoyed the involvement that I've had with the GAWDA organization and the networking and the peers that I've had a chance to work with, being part of the regional meetings, and also asked to be on the board and be part of the insurance committee. And it's just been a really enjoyable experience. And I was honored to one, be asked to be on the board, and then to be asked to help lead the organization in the future. And I think that the opportunity to develop myself professionally, as well as anything favorable that I can do towards the industry, and also to help our company at the same time, is just, I didn't see a negative in the opportunity.
You're following in your dad's footsteps as president of the association. Did he offer you any advice when you were approached to join the executive committee?
He has just always told me that, there'll never be a time that you think is right with the work, our company, and the balance of GAWDA. But he just, he reinforced to me that with the team of people that we have around us that is helping us run our organization, that there is time and there is the ability not to be afraid of anything negative that could happen here at the company. that we have a strong team. And that was really, my only concern was I wanted to make sure that, because I have a rather new role at Meyer too. So operations and COO is a new position for me. So I wanted to be sure that I was able to have the balance needed to, be successful here, as well as dedicate all the time needed to be successful with GAWDA. He just always had told me, not to worry, that we have a team in place here, that including himself, that will pick up anything that any slack that I may leave as I have to dedicate more time to GAWDA. And he has just always stressed the value that the GAWDA organization brought to him as he developed professionally, and then also the benefits that it helped bring to our company too. Very supportive. He's always been very supportive.
Do you have a particular goal or something that you want to achieve as a member of the executive committee and eventually when you become president?
I want to continue to ensure that, distributors and suppliers alike find value in the organization, that we can continue to bring valuable content and valuable, services to where, membership feels that they can give an involvement. And really, it's just to keep the momentum going from those, before me, that have done a great job in adapting to, the changes that we're seeing due to travel restrictions and COVID, and getting decision makers out of their companies to attend the annual conventions and the SMCs. And really, I think that my predecessors did a fantastic job of bringing great content. I think that the regionals are also bringing great content, the way that we've kind of minimized those and consolidated several of them to make sure that people that were leaving their businesses had good reasons to be there, and we're able to bring good content back home with them. And really, it's just to continue to drive membership, to drive involvement, and really to get people to understand what their dues are getting them. And I think one thing I've learned is, in my time on the board, is that there's many people that aren't really taking advantages of the membership, and just continue to educate the membership on what the advantages are, and to maximize, but really just to keep things rolling and keep content strong, keep membership growing, and really drive involvement.
Is there anything that GAWDA members might not know about you that you want them to know as you step into this role?
My biggest thing is, that my father, had been in the industry for 50 years, and that how important truly the welding industry is to me, and to Meyer, and the vocation and the dedication to our trade. I think is something that I think a lot of people have, but truly the passion that exists for me, and for welding, for vocations, for the future of our trade. I'm really passionate about that. I really enjoy welding. I do a lot of welding myself. Fabricating is something that's been in our family. So I truly enjoy the trade, and very dedicated to ensuring that young people, women, displaced workers understand the value that they bring to our trade, and how vital it is to the sustainability of our company as well as our membership. Whether it be through CGA, through AWS, I think we all have a collaborative goal to shed some of these shortcomings of our industry, and work very diligently to increase participation in the trades. And that's something I'm very passionate about.
Eric, thank you for being with us today. We really appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Harris Products Group is proud to have partnered with McKinney Welding Supply and so many other great independent gas distributors who service the medical and specialty gas markets nationwide. Harris thanks all distributors who have worked tirelessly through these challenging times. If you have a gas distribution challenge, give Harris a call at 800-733-4043, option 2.
During this year's annual convention, we had the opportunity to honor an industry legend. On Saturday during the show, Abity Butler Moore announced that she was awarding the GAWDA Industry Award of Excellence to Ken Thompson. Ken has spent a lifetime in our industry and has been a tireless advocate for the industry and a visionary in driving it forward. The Industry Award of Excellence is the highest honor that GAWDA has, and it's not something that's given lightly. Though Ken was unable to join us to celebrate in Colorado Springs, joining us to talk about his contributions to the industry are some of Ken's colleagues from the Buying and Information Group.
He's really devoted his life and built his career on giving back, sharing information, and the more that he gave, the more he would receive in return. And those are the type of people that we need in our industry.
He's so well liked. Everybody finds him easy to talk to and confide in because he's a great person and he's been a great mentor to a lot of people.
He, to me, is like the glue that has kept not just our buying group, but the entire GAWDA members informed, together, enthused, up to date. He is like an inventor. He's always thinking about the next innovation for our industry.
He is just genuinely a gentleman.
Ken Thompson is a visionary. He's probably more than anybody else in the history of our association. Ken has the ability to look around the corner.
And I think the strongest contribution that he made to our industry was connecting vendors to distributors. Because he understood the companies and the needs that we have as distributors, he was able to strategically place vendors with different distributors that he thought would be successful.
He wants the independent distributor to have a place in the gas and welding business for years and years to come. And he's not even an independent distributor. He just truly wants what's best.
It's kind of a David versus Goliath industry. And Ken's committed to the Davids. You know, he really wants to help us get the first lick in.
Ken has always been on the leading edge of technology. He's always followed it. He's always challenging us. Okay, what can we do to make it better?
He's been a role model, and at all times, he's always exemplified professionalism in pretty much every regard.
He will 100% do everything that he can to help anybody in this industry. And he's been doing it for a long time.
You know, he had a couple site visits out to our location here in Denver and asked if I would pick him up from the airport. I can just remember as I'm driving along and we're talking, it was almost in the most respectful sense, almost like talking to my grandfather, and giving me some history lessons as to, you know, some of the different players in our industry and how did they get started, and almost sitting next to a historian.
After my father passed away in November of 2015, he made a lot of lapel pins for blazers that had his initials on an American flag and gave it to me along with the United States Marine Corps flag and a United States flag. It meant the world to me. He had a very close relationship with my dad as well as with me for many, many years. Just the compassion that he showed and was no different than how he is to everybody else, but it really meant a lot to me.
You know, he's involved with all of these multi-generational businesses that are now, when he got involved with them, that kid in the second or third or fourth generation is just now entering the business. And Ken was one of those guys that always put his arm around their shoulder and sort of mentored them, and really had a outsized positive influence on a lot of folks that now are running those companies very successfully. I really can't think of a single individual who's had just time after time after time that kind of positive influence on that many future leaders.
So by watching Ken, his win-win dealings, his visionary focus on the customer, his family values, you know, all of us in the Buying Information Group have been imprinted by Ken. We're better people, we're better business people because we've watched Ken Thompson for the last 50 years.
I would just put him at the highest category of a man of integrity, a true gentleman, a man that just people want to spend time with. That's part of why he had such a large network in our industry, is that, you know, when Ken called, you put down what you were doing and spent time with him.
Ken Thompson has been an absolute staple in our industry. He's an extreme wealth of knowledge. He's highly professional. He's a true gentleman, and I think one of the things that we see Ken do is he's a connector of people. He brings folks together even when it's not necessarily to his personal benefit. He just wants to see the industry succeed.
So it isn't just, I believe, an award for longevity. It's an award for his contributions throughout that longevity.
Ken, if it hadn't been for the challenges that you set before me in trying to assure that my company was reaching its expected potential, I don't think we would be where we are today.
You mean the world to me, and I love you. You've been a large influence to me and to Red Ball Oxygen for many years, and to the Kennedy family, and we're going to miss working with you, and we couldn't be happier for you.
Thank you for your contributions to our industry. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to get to know you and learn from you. I can't tell you how appreciative I am to have gotten to know you over the last few years.
And I have appreciated your guidance that you've provided me over the last 5 years as well. And I've learned a lot from you as well. I wish you and your bride all the best in the next stages of your life together.
Ken, thank you for all you've done for the industry, for all you've done for our company with your insights, and for all you've done for me.
There have been so many people that have plugged into me personally and professionally to grow in this industry, and I hold you up as one of the top. I just thank you for our friendship, for engaging and investing in my personal and professional growth, and for giving me a real example of somebody to strive and be like.
Congratulations to Ken, and thank you for everything that you've done for our industry and on behalf of the independent distributor.
Cavagna's new CGAR residual pressure valve eliminates the need to search for the right filling adapter. Our RPV is the fastest filling valve in the industry because we understand that time is money. At Cavagna, wherever gas is used, we are there.
Today's member news segment is brought to you by Anthony Welded Products, 4 generations strong since 1958. Abity Butler Moore was named CEO of Butler Gas Products. Long-standing former CEO Jack Butler will advance into the role of chairman. Congratulations to Abity and Jack on your new roles. Meredith Gas Partners announced a new partnership with Ozark Gas. As part of the transaction, Ozark principal owner and chairman Bob Garner will retire, while his co-owner and son James Garner will remain as president. Mississippi Welder Supply received the prestigious Portfolio Level Achievement Award from ITW Welding. Register today for GAWDA's 2021 Professional Compliance Webinar on Audit Excellence, which will take place virtually October 25th to the 29th. For more information or to register, click the link in the description below. Welding and Gases Today was recognized by the Syracuse Press Club with its Best Trade Publication Award for 2021. Catalina Cylinders President and CEO Richard Hill is set to retire in the first quarter of 2022. Current Vice President of Strategy and Operations David Silva will succeed Richard as President and CEO. Espregas announced that it has expanded its partnership with Panda Restaurant Group. Ratterman announced that it had forged a new partnership with Wise Telemetry. ITR Economics announced that it has partnered with investment banking firm Butcher Joseph & Company, which specializes in ESOPs, mergers and acquisitions, private capital sourcing, and valuation advisory services. Astaris welcomed Andy Stosky as its Senior Marketing Manager. Praxair Distribution named Roche Monahan as its Associate Director of M&A, Business Development. To read more about each of these member news items, or to submit member news, be sure to read the complete October 15th issue of the GAWDA Connection in your email inbox today, or by clicking the link in the description below.
With manufacturing plants located in Longview, Texas and Huntsville, Alabama, Norris Cylinder Company is proud to be made in the USA. Manufacturers of high and low pressure cylinders, Norris works hard every day to meet the demands of independent distributors across the U.S. with help from our regional representatives. Call Norris for the highest standards of quality products and services when it comes to your cylinder needs.
Finally, we're joined today by GAWDA's Young Professionals Committee co-chair, Liz Standley. Liz, thank you for being with us today. Liz, can you discuss the purpose of the Young Professionals Committee and how the work that you do on that committee benefits GAWDA members?
Sure. So the Young Professionals Committee has two goals. The first is to foster an environment where young professionals within the GAWDA membership can build network relationships. And then the second one ties into that. We're meant to bridge the gap between the young professionals and the established members of GAWDA. And the big benefit for the organization as a whole is this is a great way to foster the future leadership of GAWDA and ensure continuity.
How do you feel that the relationship that you develop as part of the committee can positively impact your business as you continue to grow within the industry?
Yeah, it's really all about having a contact. You know, when something arises in your day-to-day business, knowing you can call a GAWDA friend and say, hey, how are you dealing with the driver shortages at your company? Or we're having a hard time sourcing X item, how are you guys getting it? Having that information is just invaluable. It's one of the best takeaways from coming to the GAWDA events.
You had talked about the idea of bridging the gap. One of the goals of the committee is to bridge the gap between the young and established members of the industry and to facilitate a knowledge transfer. How would you say the committee has succeeded in that goal?
Yeah, we're working hard as a committee to ensure that we're catering to our prime demographic, which is the young professionals, but also encouraging the established members to come to our events. The young professionals as a whole are very open-minded. We want to learn. We're very hungry and thirsty for knowledge. And our events are a great platform for the established members to come and share their wisdom. As the boomers are leaving, they're going to take a lot of knowledge and experience with them. And we are so ready to absorb some of that. And so we can carry that on into the future.
What was it about the Young Professionals Committee that appealed to you and compelled you to volunteer for it?
Yeah, actually at one of my first GAWDA events that I attended, my mom introduced me to Jack Butler and Abby Moore. And while we were talking, I was telling them I was a little nervous about such a huge learning curve that I had to overcome. And their advice for me was to get involved. The best way to learn is by doing. Get involved, meet people, build those connections. And the Young Professionals Committee in particular, when the opportunity arose for me to be a co-chair, I jumped on it because I'd already made some great connections attending the events. So it was just a great opportunity.
Is there anything else about the committee that you want to leave members with today?
Come to our events. You know, we're looking to build turnout at our events. We really want people to have the opportunity to walk into the President's Gala at the annual convention and see a bunch of friendly faces, people they know they can spend an evening with and not feel awkward or out of place.
Liz, thank you for being with us today. We really appreciate it. For more information about GAWDA's volunteer committees, including how you can get involved, visit GAWDA.org today.
Chart's new Orca VHP delivery system provides the capability to fill tanks operating at pressures up to 500 psig, eliminating the need for costly and time-consuming tank blowdowns. Coupled with our existing automated fill system, this new pump technology allows faster delivery times without interrupting ongoing facility operations. These advantages lead to greater flexibility in scheduling and more deliveries per day.
We were so happy to be back together with everyone last week in Colorado. Stay tuned for next week's episode, which will feature an in-depth recap of the convention. Until then, for everyone here at GAWDA TV, this is Steve Guillermo signing off.